In this section, we will look at how the provincial government's budget cuts and tax increases affect Calgary homeowners and businesses. The provincial budget, which was released in February 2023, has several implications for the city's finances and services. One of the major impacts is the reduction of grants that the province pays to the city in lieu of property taxes. These grants are meant to compensate the city for providing services to provincial properties, such as schools and hospitals. The province is cutting these grants by $15 to $20 million, which means the city has to find other sources of revenue or cut spending. Another impact is the increase of fines for traffic offenses, such as speeding. The province is taking a greater share of fine revenue from traffic tickets handed out by the Calgary Police Service, resulting in less money for the police. This could affect the police's ability to maintain public safety and respond to emergencies. The provincial budget also affects personal and corporate income taxes. The United Conservative Party accuses the previous NDP government of increasing taxes and fees 97 times between 2015 and 2019. However, this number is misleading, as it includes fee increases for services such as court documents and museum tickets, as well as fines for traffic violations. In reality, only 23 of the 97 elements listed are tax increases. The NDP government did raise corporate income tax from 10 to 12% and created new tax brackets for income over $125,000. The UCP government reversed the corporate tax hike, reducing it to 8%, but did not reverse the change for individuals. The UCP government also froze tax brackets and credits, which means they will not adjust for inflation. This leads to a depreciation of tax credits and a subtle push into a higher tax bracket for many Albertans. These tax changes have different effects on Calgary homeowners and businesses. Homeowners may face higher property taxes as the city tries to make up for the lost revenue from the province. According to a report by City Administration, shifting 1 percentage point of the tax ratio from non-residential to residential would cost the owner of a median-priced house worth $555,000 an extra $46 in tax this year. The Calgary Chamber of Commerce supports this shift, arguing that it would make businesses more competitive and attract more opportunities to the city. However, some homeowners may oppose this shift, especially if they are already paying more income tax due to the bracket freeze. Businesses may benefit from lower corporate taxes and a more favorable tax ratio, but they may also face challenges from reduced public services and consumer spending. For example, businesses that rely on tourism or cultural activities may suffer from higher fees and lower attendance at provincial museums and auditoriums. Businesses that depend on transportation or logistics may be affected by higher fines and lower road maintenance. Businesses that cater to local customers may see lower demand if homeowners have less disposable income due to higher property and income taxes. In summary, the provincial government's budget cuts and tax increases have significant consequences for Calgary homeowners and businesses. The budget reflects the UCP's priorities of reducing spending and lowering corporate taxes, but it also shifts more costs and responsibilities to the city and its residents. The budget may create winners and losers among different sectors and groups in Calgary, depending on how they are affected by the tax changes and service reductions. The budget may also influence how Calgarians vote in the upcoming provincial election, as they weigh the benefits and costs of the UCP's fiscal policies. The Alberta provincial government has announced a plan to boost the economy and create jobs amid the COVID-19 pandemic and the oil price crisis. The plan includes two main components: increasing infrastructure spending and cutting corporate taxes. The government says it will spend $10 billion on infrastructure projects across the province, such as healthcare facilities, pipelines, schools, drug treatment centers, and more. This represents a 40% increase from the previous budget and the largest infrastructure build in Alberta history. The government estimates that this will create 50,000 jobs directly and indirectly. The government also says it will accelerate the implementation of corporate tax cuts, slashing the rate from 10% to 8% starting on July 1, 2020. This is 1.5 years ahead of schedule and will make Alberta's corporate tax rate the lowest in Canada. The government claims that this will attract $4 billion in annual investment starting in 2023 and create an additional 55,000 jobs by 2022. The plan also includes some targeted incentives for specific sectors, such as tech startups, innovation, and diversification. For example, the government will offer an innovation employment grant to encourage high-tech companies and investment. It will also establish a new agency called Investment Alberta to pitch Alberta to potential investors and set up international offices. The government hopes that these measures will spur economic recovery and growth in Alberta, which has been hit hard by both the pandemic and the collapse of oil prices. However, not everyone is convinced that this plan will work. Some critics argue that the corporate tax cuts will not generate enough revenue or jobs to offset the costs. Others point out that the plan does not address the environmental and social challenges facing the province, such as climate change, healthcare, and education. In this video, we will explore how the provincial government's infrastructure spending and corporate tax cuts aim to spur economic recovery and create jobs. We will also examine some of the benefits and drawbacks of this plan, as well as some of the reactions from different stakeholders. Stay tuned for more.